I know why you guys came in here. You know, I know I don't want to give you guys the wrong idea because today is the day that we're gonna install the new engine. So basically, we're gonna take this engine out and we're gonna throw it in the garbage. We're gonna put this engine in, and then we're gonna add all these parts. Pretty easy, right? Pretty easy. I hope. I mean, we're trying to do this in 3 days, so I just hope that we can get it all in there and starting by Friday because today is Wednesday, so that's plenty of time. As far as parts go, basically just a little rundown. You got your intercooler, coupling, spark plugs, blow-off valve. This is to wire in VTAC, your intercooler piping. In this bag, you got your fuel injectors, your K&N fuel filter, your map sensor, this little thing, your clutch pedal set, and then you got your for the clutch reservoir, and then you got your shift linkage. Yeah, right now it's not the time. Right now we gotta pull an engine out. I'm kind of nervous because, you know, it's gonna be turbo. It's gonna have all these parts, and I just want it to go right. But sometimes if it doesn't, it doesn't. You just gotta keep moving forward with it. But let me show you what I have done. But on this side, I removed the throttle body cable. I removed the harness. Basically, I have it here. I removed a couple hoses, vacuum hoses on the bottom of here as well. And then I disconnected the ground. I unbolted the header, not from here, but from the bottom that can work where it connects to the cat. I connected the harness from this side, a couple ground wires, and then I removed the intake, cold air intake, the one that adds all the power. Another thing I did is I disconnected the bolt for the T-bracket, the one that holds basically the transmission and the engine together. The whole engine basically moves. The only thing that are holding it on is basically this mount, the engine mount, and the transmission mount on this side. On a manual, this will be where your shift linkage would be, but since this is an automatic transmission, we have the cable running all the way basically in there into the cabin. So I have to remove that inside the vehicle. I have to basically take out the axles, and then the engine is ready to come out. So it's not a whole lot left to do, but it's getting pretty intense. I'm trying to knock out as much as I can until my friends come. They're coming around in the afternoon, so I have plenty of time. I just really want to show them that I got the engine out, and so that we don't have to worry about it and we can start working on the new engine, because I think that's what's going to take the most time. Alright, so I've been at it for like, I want to say 15 minutes at this, because I've never removed anything like this, you know. I never really messed around with it, but it was actually pretty easy. Got that removed, and then the rest of the thing is right here. Poor little guy. So I just removed the bolts from the inside, and it looks like we have a few more, starting right here, right there, and we got a few more over here. I don't know if you guys can see it, right there, and then over there. It's been a couple hours since the last time you guys saw the engine, and right now we have your boy Marco.
¿Qué pasó, Juan?
And you have my other friend Angel. And basically what they were doing was they were lowering the car. We got rid of the axles. So those are basically trash. We got to go warranty them out at AutoZone. So we got the hoist hooked up, and we lowered the car down a little bit just because I don't think we had it lifted up all the way, and I don't think it was going to give enough clearance for the hoist to lift up all the way, or else it's going to hit the garage door, and there's really no way of closing this.
It still kind of looks like it's not going to make it.
Yeah, it looks like it's not going to make it. I kind of fucked up because I should have brought the car more in, but I really can't do anything now.
Or close the garage a little more.
I was going to hit the thing.
Oh my god. Bro, Juan, you're a beast.
Why am I a beast?
Because you did this in like 5 hours.
I don't think you understand, but we still have all this other crap that we have to do.
No, but I mean, you did 5 hours.
For knocking out the engine by myself,
exactly.
I did pretty good, yeah.
By yourself. You're a beast.
But see now I'm giving you the opportunity to knock out the motor mount, and him the transmission mount, so then both of you guys can say you helped, right. Even though I did all the work.
Let's take some credit.
Well, the engine is out, and the engine is right here next to us. All complete. Anybody wants to buy it? Want to put it in your car in the rear? Then we can just throw that one in there and then turn it on. Simple as that, you know? No, it's not that simple on him.
Just shove it in there.
Damn, dude. Guys, so we did all that we could. Right now we connected the battery just so that I can steer the car, because you know how it locks. The engine is out. The engine's right here. You guys already know that. All that's left to do is just clean the inside, but these boys, they have to go, and I appreciate the help anyways. So we're just gonna shut the hood down, roll it out on my driveway, and start working on disassembling all this and start moving parts from here to there.
Second day came around and I could not be slacking. I ended up cleaning the transmission and I ended up cleaning the engine bay as well. On top of that, we went to Home Depot to get some type of window weld for the motor mounts. Also, me and the boys decided to remove the transmission so we can put the engine on a stand. That way we can remove parts off of it and put it on the new engine. On top of that, my father decided to help as well by helping me remove the crank, which was really good since it's been a while since we had a father and son bond.
So, it's been a couple hours since me and my dad were working on it. We had to close the garage down just because it started raining on us, and I decided to move the crank from the other block to this block. He helped me out, but I decided to just put it on this block, and I was freaking out. So here's the new crank. Well, not new, but you know, it's from the old engine, but you know what I mean. And you're probably wondering, well, why did you have to switch out the crank? Here's why. See, I put in the old crank, the one that was on this engine. I put it on this engine, and so I can show you. And basically, that was the cause. None of the other ones do it. They're all stiff. It was just this one. I always knew that once I took this engine out, I would use the crank out of this. The crank moves so smooth. Oh man, it's like butter. Ooh. It's just, all this is overwhelming, you know, trying to do it in 3 days. It's just been taking a toll on me. I've been trying to do it, you know, always rushing it, but you got to take your time on this because or else you're going to fuck something up or you're going to forget something. We did all that we could today. Tomorrow it should be a little bit better. Alright, what's up guys? So you guys saw from that little footage, I was getting the engine in and then Marco happened to stop by, so he came here to help me.
Heck yeah, boy.
Other than that, we are looking really good. I think we'll be able to fire up the car maybe?
Yeah.
No.
So me and the hot boy decided to tackle as much as we could get done. However, for some odd reason, we decided to do the suspension, which was pretty stupid in my opinion. That only seemed to waste time as we ran into a problem.
It's the last time I was doing this. I broke the weld on the nut, and now the nut's spinning with the bolt. So therefore, the only way to get it off is to literally cut this right here. So I can get a wrench back here, and then basically loosen it up. And since we're also gonna paint the valve cover, I'm gonna start laying some primer, and as this is drying, I'm gonna start cutting that.
So once I cut through the metal, everything was starting to come together. There was no more turning back. The new control arm was on, which looked so great. Keep in mind, the other side was so much smoother and it didn't give us any problems. Shift linkage was on, and so were the axles. The valve cover was painted and it came out great. The new fuel pump was installed, which was probably the easiest thing to do. And then bad luck strikes again. Basically what had happened was the turbo was already hitting the radiator, so I switched it for the much smaller one, but now the wastegate is hitting the radiator. And both the radiator and the wastegate are very important, so I started looking for a turbo manifold nearby and see who had one. For now, I was committed to seeing it start up, so I decided to run it without a wastegate, which was okay since the charge pipe wasn't connected and no boost was entering.
This is
the motor.
actually not an Integra radiator. I got this off of Volkswagen. This is a piping. I cut it in half, and we have like this adapter here, and then I cut the other hose in half and I made it work. But we needed this because we need to fill up the radiator and there's no other way of doing so. Everything else is mounted, all the sensors, all the vacuum lines.
Oh man, I'm so nervous. Oh my god.
You can see right here, it's really loose, and over here it's super tight. I don't have any leaks. That leak that you see right there is all from the brake fluid that when I was putting into the master cylinder and the clutch. You know, I think I just need to retime it, and then if everything checks out good, so I'm crossing my fingers that maybe we can go on a ride, and hopefully it'll be fine.
But before I can go on a ride, the new turbo manifold came in, so I decided to switch it since I was going to have to redo timing anyways. This new turbo manifold is mostly to clear the wastegate since I was having problems with it. As you can see, the only thing left to do now is make a custom dump pipe for the wastegate.
But obviously it's a little late right now, and I'm not gonna fire it up today. I think I'm gonna fire it up tomorrow, and
I decided not to listen, and I decided to take out the car out anyways, and look what happened. Basically what had happened was the car was overheating really bad, and it just happened out of nowhere. I don't know what the cause was. I didn't see any leaks. However, I did see some type of coolant spills in the front of the engine. I don't know if the head gasket just blew out. On top of that, the car is not responding like it once was. It's driving really bad. It's misfiring. And at this point, I just want to get home.
you guys can't see me, but I'm kind of left stranded. The engine won't start. It sucks. It sucks.
As bummed out as I am, I have to keep going. I said it in the beginning of the video, if I were to run into a problem, I would keep moving forward with it. All I have to say is, Jose, you guessed it right. You knew the head gasket was going to blow first. Congratulations, bud. However, I have a bad feeling that the head is going to be warped, so we're just going to have to find out.
Ooh, we're getting better. No.
Bro.
You're good? Nah, bro, it's around 80, 85 right there.
85?
Nah, dude, this is like 87, 87.
So you can see that the car is still on H. And the check engine light comes on.
In case you're wondering how I got the car home, I basically had my best friend tow it home. It has to be one of the sketchiest things we have done for sure. However, at this point, me and Angel are talking about what needs to be done, and I even called Jose asking him for advice. All of my friends are saying it's just a head gasket, but I don't think it's just a head gasket. I think this thing is warped. But sure, let's just replace the head gasket and see where it gets us. So I removed the GSR head, and I can clearly see that the head gasket is just toasted. So we threw on a new one, and if you're wondering why I'm all up in the car like that, it's because I'm a really short dude, and I cannot reach and put all of my weight up to lift up the head like that. So this is the best way I could do it. So we filled it up with oil, and we filled it up with coolant, and then
It leaked from the front something, and it just doesn't make sense to me. You can see the puddle. Yeah. What a waste of money. Very shaky. It happens.
What do you guys think? You think it's a head gasket, or should I just fill it up again and turn it on?
You weren't supposed to see this video because I was hoping that the head was not going to be warped. However, since you came across this video, the head is warped, and I'm gonna be tearing down this engine right here, the one in the bag.
If you're wondering why I didn't just get the GSR head resurfaced, well, that's because this was already taking a very long time and I needed my car since it was my daily. This was the only solution I had since I still had to tune the car and I was already running low on funds. My best advice is don't mod your daily unless you have another car. I learned the hard way and I couldn't believe how foolish of me it was to try to get this done in 3 days. In fact, it's already been 2 months since I started. This is another reason why you haven't heard from us, because this is all a process and sometimes you run into problems that you didn't even think of. So once I got the head off, I sat it where it was going to stay there until my next build. After that, I smacked that LS head on, and it was a matter of timing it and setting everything up right. I was feeling a little bit more confident, but unfortunately I ran out of time, so I decided to finish it tomorrow.
Good morning, guys. It's currently the next day. Like I promised, we would get this car running. What time is it?
12:07.
It's 12. It's already afternoon. I said good morning.
I know. Okay. You got used to it, right?
Yeah, doing oil changes more than driving the car.
What was that?
Dude, it's leaking. Did you not see the fake?
Oh my god. Bro, where's it leaking from?
That one hose.
Did we not tighten it hard? Oh my god. Alright. Yeah. It's leaking from like the gasket of the bolt, or whatever you wanna call that. It's like coming out from the top, like right here is coming out from.
So I fired it up again, and clearly you can see that there's no more oil leaks. The reason for that was that the gasket was ruined, so I just applied a bunch of RTV and that seems to fix the problem. Also, you can see that the car is at operating temperature. I've just been having it idling for about 20 minutes or so, and so far things are looking fantastic. The car sounds really good, but then of course, me having bad luck, another problem just happened.
So I'll go around the block, and the dash is flashing me that the oil, the oil pressure light, that there's not enough oil. And I'm like, oh. I pull over and I see that this hose is spilling oil everywhere. And I'm just like, great. So the hose is basically toast. You can see right there, it was shooting oil everywhere. And you can see it on my garage. Like, you're about, it's so irritating because you're about to drive your car after just sitting for a very long time, and you can't even enjoy it because you just run a problem after problem after problem after problem after problem. My neighbors must think like, damn, this kid can't get his car running. He's leaving oil stains everywhere, all up on the road and driveway.
I know part of this was my fault because it was touching the exhaust, but if you looked at the footage before, it had exhaust wrapped over it. It just sucks because I had ordered a 90-degree bin to fix the problem, but now it looks like I have to buy a brand new hose. But to really top it off, what you're about to see is some of the worst bad luck I have probably ever seen in my life.
So it's been about, what, 2 days since the accident has happened. Have a little neck problem, but nothing too serious. This is the car as it stands here. You guys can see all the damage that's been done. I think the camera's a little hazy. The camera's tearing up, yeah. That's the reason why there was no footage of me actually driving it, because I wanted to make sure that the car was at 100% good before I got any footage of it. And it was, because I even asked him if he could do me the favors or honors to record the car driving by and just get some footage. And then only for the next day to get hit. That's crazy. But at the end of the day, it happened. I can't do anything. I can't do nothing to change the past. It's what's done is done. All I can hope for, like Marco said, is that thank God that it didn't go any worse. Thank God that I'm okay. You know, I didn't suffer anything. And it's crazy because a lot of people were saying, commenting on the seats, how they wouldn't hold up, how I was going to die or whatever. Well, guess what? They held up just perfectly fine. Nothing really to say there. I was even shocked.
I have no words. I don't know how Juan is dealing through this. I would have been in my room crying. Dude, this is, yeah guys, I don't know. That's so bad.
Because it's like you're fixing it right, but it's like you're starting over in a way.
Basically.
Now we're gonna be set back because now we have to get a bumper, now we have to get a fender, now we have to get the radiator support. This whole radiator support.
So I was saying, Juan, it's almost flat.
Yeah, and then what broke too? The intercooler, the radiator. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm a little sad. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I feel like crying, but it's just like, damn. I can't cry. Juan's finna cry.